Hi everyone, welcome back and a very good morning to you from all the way up here on the top deck of Virgin Voyages Valiant Lady. Now, I'm currently on this cruise for 14 nights and it's going to go from Barcelona in Spain all the way across the Atlantic Ocean and I'll finish in Miami. Now, today we've docked in the beautiful Funchal Madeira. Now, for anybody who's followed my channel before and seen me stop here, you know exactly what I'm going to go and do today. This is my third time here this year. I've previously visited on P&O Azura, Costa Diadema and now today. And every single day I've tried to do exactly the same thing and it's always been cancelled. First up because of the weather, and secondly I think it was because of the day of the week it was or something. So yeah, today we're going to do it. Now, in terms of what the plan for today looks like, first up we're going to go down to the Galley, which is Virgin's version of a buffet, to grab breakfast, and after that we're going to head over there. Now, the main thing that I don't want to do it, I need to do it today, is the toboggan. Now, basically, I'll tell you more about it later, but back at like the start of the 19th century, this toboggan was used as a mode of transport to take people from the town at the top back down into the city at the bottom. Nowadays though, it's not really a form of transport, it's more just a tourist attraction where people will come, go into a toboggan and be pushed down the hill. So I'm hoping with everything that we can do that today. Now, the only other slight catch is that unfortunately for the last couple of days I've been pretty poorly on the ship. Now, I've spent a lot of time on cruise ships this year and I've been very fortunate that I haven't got ill at all really, but whatever's happened on day 2, I think, of this cruise, I must have picked up a bug somewhere. So to be honest, I'm still feeling a little bit fragile, but I feel definitely good enough to get about, get off. I've done various tests, including the now infamous up the nose one, and everything is negative, so I am comfortable that yeah, I'm not a risk to anyone else and all is fine. So look, let's head down for breakfast, then let's head over into the city, and then let's get pushed down the hill in a wicker toboggan. What could possibly go wrong? You get the picture. The scenery here this morning, absolutely stunning. Anyway, let's head down and grab breakfast and let me show you some of this amazing ship on the way there. Don't you love how different the Virgin ship design is compared to anything else on the market? I do think you would either love it or hate it. Personally, I've grown to love it. Now, welcome to the Galley. This is Virgin's answer to the traditional cruise ship buffet. In here, you'll find self-service counters, but you can also sit down and order with a member of staff. For me, it was a couple of home comforts with beans on toast and a cream cheese bagel before heading along to disembark the ship. I showed you in my last video, but I love the elevators on Virgin. The back wall turns into a TV monitor and it shows all your facts and all the information that you need to have a successful day ashore. So for example, when do you have to be back? To find the gangway, just follow the signs like you would with any other cruise line, and then you're off. One thing that I have noticed with Funchal and Madeira as a cruise port is the gangway always seems to be pretty steep. I'm not entirely sure the reason for that. Anyway, enough talking about gangways and how to leave the ship, because we are ashore. It's now time to try and race everybody else who's probably also heading for that toboggan line so that I can secure my spot in that basket to get flung down the hill. Okay, are you ready for a laugh? So, here we are, blazing hot sunshine. It's currently the very beginning of November, so by the time this video posts, it will be pretty delayed due to the number of ships that I've been on this year, so I've got a lot of content that I'm trying to work through. But here we go, blazing sunshine. I've wasted no time getting off that ship because I know the minute it rains here, they cancel this toboggan and I'll be raging if I miss it again. Anyway, you might not be able to see behind me at the moment, but the clouds are getting not even grey, but they're getting black. So honestly, it's like a race against time to get up this mountain and then get back down again. Now, if worst comes to worst, and by the time we get up there, it's already raining, then all will not be lost. It just means we won't do the toboggan. Now, apparently, there's an amazing garden up there that you can explore. So if it rains, I'm ready. I've got my backpack with everything waterproof in it, so that's fine. Now, anyway, just a note on the weather. So it's obviously pretty warm here, but it can change very quickly. So on my Azura vlog series, you will remember that it bucketed down here. It was so heavy. It was some of the heaviest rain I've ever in my life been caught in. And yeah, it's really important that when you come to areas like this, that you come really, really prepared. So right now, I'm wearing shorts and t-shirt, but in my bag, I've got a poncho, I've got trousers and a hoodie for later, and also a waterproof jacket. So it might seem a little bit unnecessary when you're on your cruise ship, but yeah, as I say, things can change pretty quickly here, and there's nothing worse than being up the top of one of these hills, pouring with rain, and you're standing there, the loudest bus on the planet, in shorts and a t-shirt. Anyway guys, I am gonna head along. I need to lift money out of a cash machine here, and then I'll hopefully see all of you at the top of the hill, hopefully not in the rain. It felt really strange to be looking at this bank this morning because this is exactly the same bank and the same ATM that I lifted cash from the last time I was here. After I got my money, it was time to head across the city to the cable car that we could see earlier from the ship. I thought that the streets here felt pretty quiet considering this was the city centre. However, I soon found out that all of my fellow travellers were already queuing to get up the hill. I was so frustrated when I got to the cable car station because you had to join one queue before joining this one, which was so much longer, and it felt like it was taking forever in the sunshine. Looking up the hill, I get a little bit nervous about heights anyway, so it didn't fill me with too much confidence seeing the cars coming and going. I was actually quite happy when I finally got inside the building because A, I couldn't see the hill, and B, there was a bit of air conditioning, so it made it way more pleasant. Anyway, once I worked my way around this very frustrating looping queue, I could then see the cars coming in to get loaded up. The way this works is each car usually will seat 4 people, 2 on one side and 2 on the other, or you can often squeeze an extra person in if they're small or if they're a child. Anyway, let me leave you with the view going up the hill, and I'll see you up at the top. So we're now at the top of the hill, and before we talk about anything up here, let's talk money. Now, I had to lift 50 euros in order to get on the toboggan today, because I think it's 35 euros one way for a solo rider. Now, at the cash machine, that would cost me £49 British pounds if I accepted the cash machine's exchange rate. However, by declining that, it only cost me £43. So the cash machine down there, which was from a reputable bank, was going to cost me £6 extra just to take their exchange rate, which is, to be honest, beyond a joke. So always make sure, if you're lifting money abroad anywhere, just make sure you're comfortable with what the exchange rate is when you lift. Anyway, cable car. Honestly, that is one of the best things that you can do here. My heart was in my mouth for the majority of it, especially when it goes over those bumps and you feel the whole car shudder. Not the biggest fan of that, but the view, honestly, when you get up here, the view is absolutely spectacular. There might be a break in the trees in a little second that I can turn around and show you, but you're basically just looking back down over the city, back down towards the cruise port. Now, last time I was here, I spent a little bit too long up here and it started to rain, which therefore meant I didn't get to do the toboggan. So I have learned from my mistakes and I am not wasting or spending any time at all up here. All I'm going to do is walk to the little cafe along here, get a bottle of water and head along and get in the toboggan queue. Because if that rain starts and I don't get pushed down that hill in a wicker basket, I'm going to be raging, going back to the ship. So yeah, let's grab a water along here and then join the queue and hopefully have some fun. Right, let's head along the top of this hill and let's get to this wicker basket before it starts to rain. Honestly, nothing can prepare you for the feeling when you see these toboggans getting unloaded from the back of the van. All I could think was, oh my goodness. I didn't expect them to be more high tech, but I didn't expect them to literally be a wicker basket on wooden plinths. It didn't feel overly safe, but then this thing's been going for many, many years, so who am I to call it unsafe? Anyway, I then walked along to the ticket office to, yes, pay them money to put me inside the basket. Now, one thing that I did really like was the fact they have solo pricing here. So I paid €27.50 for one person, or if you were a couple, you'd go down for €35. So it is quite a steep solo supplement, but great that you don't have to pay the full price for two. And look at what you see from the start of the queue. I honestly could watch this for hours and I could not stop laughing at the reactions of some of these people going down the hill. However, there was a niggle in the back of my mind, because all I could think was that's about to be me. Okay, so all is going well so far. I've now got my ticket to get on this. We're going to call it a ride. I've got no idea what to call it. Now, while I was in the line, I mean, this, to be honest, this poor soul came over and said, look, is there a restroom to the man behind the counter? Because I've just fallen out at the first corner and I've hurt my arm and I think it's broken. And honestly, I'm now actually a wee bit nervous because this thing, like looking at people going down, this thing goes quite fast and it's literally on planks of wood. Oh, do you ever start something and wish you hadn't? I seem to say that a lot, but right now I kind of wish I'd just opted for a day at the bottom, sipping coffee and eating cake. But anyway, the toboggan ride. Wish me luck. I will see all of you at the bottom. Oh, actually, one thing I should mention is the line. So the line here is about 45 minutes long. So I've got 45 minutes to constantly and repeatedly and dread and regret this decision. And then it'll be time to get on board, are we going to say? Now, anyway, I'm going to go and get in that line and I'll see all of you at the bottom after this. Welcome to the most annoying part of my day, and that is the toboggan line. From what I'd seen on previous trips, this line actually wasn't too long. It was going to take quite a while to go in, but I've seen it much worse. Now, from the line, you can see the toboggans ploughing down the hill, which I'm not overly convinced was reassuring, but hey. While you're standing in the line, you then see the toboggan pushers coming back. They must get dropped off back up at the hill by that van that brings the toboggan, and then they walk down the line and they go again. Now, after, I'm not sure how long, maybe about an hour and a half, it was then time to get in the basket. Guys, if you ever thought I was going to let the weather get on top of it, then think again. We are now careering down the hill. This journey is 2 kilometres long, so hopefully, I don't know, 5 minutes and it'll be over. Let me flip the camera and take you for, a ride. Okay, let's recap on that. Now, I am delighted, absolutely delighted that I've finally done that. It's only taken 3 cruises to get here and do it. Now, what I would say, it didn't go as fast as I was expecting, but then you have to remember, you're actually not strapped in, so yeah, any faster, and I really don't think you'd enjoy it. Now, I've just had a great, 10 minutes or however long I was on that for, really enjoyed it. At the end, they came up and say, oh, would you like to buy a souvenir photo? And I just saw this random guy with a camera halfway down and assumed it was a member of the public, so I gave him a thumbs up. And do you know what? It's turned into a souvenir photo, which was an absolute cracker. So that cost €10, which is £7, I think. And yeah, I've got that in my backpack now. Let me show you what that looked like, but really happy with how that turned out. Now anyway, today is going totally to plan. At the end of the toboggan circuit, they have got a little cafe and they've got a gift shop. So I stopped there, had a hot dog and a coffee. That came to €6, so it's really not that bad. Weird one about the hot dog though, is it was sort of covered on top with what I can only describe as crisps, or if you're watching from the other side of the pond, crumbled up potato chips. It's very weird, never had that before. However, I'm not complaining, but look, we're now heading back down to the ship. That's the other thing, so you get off the toboggan. I naively thought it would drop you off back in the city centre, but you can probably tell I'm currently hiking it down Kilimanjaro, so you can maybe see the yellow funnel from that Costa ship that's beside us today in the background now. So it's about, I think it said it's about a 1 hour walk back down there, but I mean, if that's going by Google, we can definitely take a good bit of time off it. So I think it must be around 3 o'clock-ish, so that means that we've got plenty of time. This is the other thing, this road is not, it's not overly wide, so yeah, that's alright. Yeah, plenty of time to get down and explore the city centre a little bit, so let me show you. I mean, there's some beautiful parks and beautiful gardens down here, so hopefully let me show you one of the gardens that I visited earlier in the year and absolutely fell in love with it. And also, just a little bit of the city centre before we head back to Valiant Lady to talk about what's going on the ship tonight. This is the garden that I was telling you guys about, and do you know, it's one of those places that every single time I come to this part of Madeira, I always try and pull in here because it's just so nice. It's free of charge, it's right in the middle of the city, and it's perfect to just escape the traffic, the people, to be honest, everything. You feel like you're in parts, you feel like you're in the middle of the jungle, which is strange because this park is only about 2 blocks wide, so it's really, really impressive. It's just so dense. There are so many different species of plants in here. I could wander about for ages. Now, unfortunately, you and I both know that that's not an option today because we've got a ship to get back to. So all aboard is in about 2 hours' time, and my plan before that, to be honest, is just to chill out. I mentioned at the start of this vlog, I've been a little bit under the weather for the last couple of days, and I am, to be honest, just going to take it a little bit easy today because I've had quite a busy morning, quite a busy afternoon, and I now just want maybe like an hour of just wandering about, minding my own business before heading back to the ship. Now, I think there's quite a fair bit going on board tonight. Today is also really significant because this is our final port of call before we begin the crossing, which will take us all the way to Miami. So this vlog series is going to be a little bit different to normal because usually I would do a daily vlog showing you what I'm getting up to, but it's going to be a little bit different because if I do that every day, you're just going to see 7 episodes of me on Valiant Lady, which, yeah, you'll get fed up watching and I'll get fed up making. But look, I'm going to chill out here, have a little wander around, and I will catch up with all of you properly when we get back into the cabin down at the port. When I was walking through the city, I then just stumbled upon the Madeira Street Art Festival. On one of my last visits here, I just stumbled upon the Madeira Flower Festival, and it got me thinking, if you are planning to come to Madeira, whether it be on a cruise ship or maybe even a land holiday in a hotel, be sure to visit the tourism website for the island and check what is on when you're planning to visit. If you are going to be in town when one of these special events are on, then you're in for such a treat. The people here seem to absolutely love them. The streets were alive with everybody watching the street entertainers, everybody relaxing, having their drinks and their lunch outside. It was such a fantastic atmosphere. These street entertainers are, yeah, I've always loved them, but I do find them a little bit creepy, how they move so little. This one with the man balancing the tray cracked me up. I could not stop laughing at it. They were really, really impressive, and every single one of them was just so well done. I couldn't believe my eyes every time I'd walk along and just stumble upon the next one. They were also so original, so none of them were copying the other, which I really, really respect. Now, anyway, after I spent a good bit of time watching these entertainers and laughing my head off, especially at this one, I then went for a walk through the Old Town. Now, the Old Town here really is beautiful, and there is just so much character in all of these little streets. I absolutely love this part of Funchal. So if you are coming, make sure that you check out the Old Town. Now, after that, I then headed back down to the cruise ship. When you get down to the port, there's a really nice viewpoint that looks along past all the really fancy big resorts and hotels. So make sure if you do have time, get up there for a look, and you'll also get to see your ship. So I'll leave you with a few shots of the Old Town, then we'll head back down to the ship, and you'll get to see sunset over the resorts. Do you know what? I'm gonna say it. Welcome to one of the most beautiful sailaway views that I've ever seen. This port, honestly, blows me away every single time. Now, I thought I'd have time to speak to you guys down in the cabin before coming up here to get ready to sail out. However, I got back on the ship at 10 minutes before all aboard time, and I quickly got changed, got showered, and came upstairs to squeeze in sail away before going to eat. Now, unfortunately, we've been delayed leaving the port. Now, Virgin prides themselves on not doing announcements, so at the moment, I thought I was going to get taken out by a runner there, but at the moment, I don't know why we're delayed. So yeah, I don't think I'll be showing you us actually leaving the port tonight. Now, let me flip the camera and show you what I can see at the moment behind, and then after that, I'll take you guys downstairs and talk to you about the plan for dinner and what's going to happen after that.
Myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set them rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. This really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. Life lessons come one in a dozen, the other 11 get something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away. But now I see what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening?
Okay, dinner. Now, I probably should apologise because the light in this room right now is like a weird purple and white, but my tablet, which is where you control the lighting, isn't changing it at the moment, so hopefully later I'll come back on and the lights will be a bit more normal. I'm not entirely sure what's happening right now, but sail away tonight, that was so good. I'm so glad that just as I finished talking to you, that happened. That ended up absolutely beautiful up there. That's actually the final port in Europe that I will, and I'm wiping my eye, I'm not crying, but that is the final European port that I'm going to sail out of this year, the whole year. That feels weird, and actually that will trigger me. That's the year from a European point of view over, which, oh yes, very strange. That's gone in a flash. Maybe I don't know when this episode will actually go live, but by the time you see this, you're probably sitting there thinking, well, you started this on YouTube 5 years ago, so no wonder it's finished. But yeah, that to me has just gone like that. That has been so quick. Now, today has been such a fantastic day. I've loved every single minute of Madeira today. I always really, really enjoy this port, and every single time I visit, I always say, do you know what? I could come back here on holiday. And I'm saying it again today. I love it here. The only thing I am thinking is, as you know, I got my Souvenir photograph coming down the toboggan. And in hindsight, I'm now sitting here thinking, what am I going to do with this? Where is this even going to go? Because no one's going to come in my living room at home and look at that picture, are they? Like, why? I'm not sure why I've bought this, but yeah, for the next couple of weeks, it's going to be positioned right in my cruise ship cabin, which is going to make it feel a little bit more homely. But yeah, this is one of those purchases that you make, and at the time you think, that's amazing, that's so good, and after it you think, okay. Anyway, souvenir picture done. I've had an absolute ball. Let's now think about dinner. So tonight for dinner, I'm going to take you guys up and show you Gunbae, which is the Korean restaurant on board. Now, the really cool thing with this place is that the way that it's all cooked is on a grill plate in the middle of the table. So yeah, very different to a regular restaurant. Now, I'm not going to come back on camera tonight for a couple of reasons. Number one, because we have now got, I think, 8 sea days, or maybe 9 sea days. We've got a long time ahead of us before we dock in Miami. Now, I'm not going to come back on camera tonight for a couple of different reasons. Number one, due to the fact that I'm knackered. Due to the fact that, number two, Gunbae features some drinking games, and you know my policy, we're coming back on camera after I've had a drink. I just never really seem to do it. And number three, we've got a lot of time together over the next couple of days now. The ship has just left Madeira in Europe, and we're now on the way across the Atlantic to Miami. So this is my first ever transatlantic crossing, and I'm going to begin documenting that tomorrow morning. So I think in my next episode, we'll be moving on to talk about what it's like to cross the Atlantic Ocean by cruise ship. I cannot wait. But look, guys, enough from me here. Wherever you're watching from, thank you so much for being here. I hope you've enjoyed Madeira today. I hope you're enjoying seeing Virgin. I hope you're enjoying all my other content. Wherever you are, thank you. And let's head up and have dinner. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gunbae Korean BBQ. I've never been to Korea, but if the food there is anything like this, book me a flight please, because it is delicious. The Gunbae experience on board a Virgin ship is very different to any of their other restaurants. You'll be dining with around 5 or 6 other passengers, and your food will be cooked on a hot plate in the middle of the table. Now, you may be looking at this and thinking, how does this differ to a teppanyaki experience that you could get on any other cruise ship? Well, the difference is that with teppanyaki, the chef goes into the middle of the table and then does a bit of artistry, a bit of performance when they're cooking. This, however, is just the hot plate in the middle, and the server stands at the end of the table cooking it live in front of you. Personally, I much prefer this because it's a way more intimate and it feels more personal experience than teppanyaki. I would really recommend. After Gunbae, it was then time to head out to enjoy the ship. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to click that subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you next time when we begin crossing the Atlantic Ocean. If you enjoyed this video today, did you know that you can become a member of my YouTube channel for an exclusive behind the scenes look at some of the ships that I'm travelling on? If you're over on Patreon, then I would love to see you over there. All you have to do to join me on that community is just search www.patreon.com/Fraser@Sea. Both my YouTube memberships and my Patreon site lead directly to me getting on more cruise ships, and both offer a completely behind the scenes look at what's going on.